Raquel. And we have more Kitty.
Meow.
And I thought I'll be painting for a little bit before it gets too late tonight. I need to get to bed early because it's going to be another busy day for me tomorrow, unfortunately. And 3 days straight of
Alistair.
busy work gets tiring. Hey, Alistair, how are you doing?
Here.
So apparently, I was watching a little bit of Smoke and Scan, which is a YouTube channel that I follow, and apparently some immigrants
Sorry.
on the Mexico side border are trying to pass through into El Paso, Texas, and the National Guard was like, "Nope."
They're not today.
Hey, Michelle.
Meow, meow, Michelle. Uh-oh.
We were sad. Oh, what happened?
No. Meow.
Your YouTube channel got taken down?
Oh, yikes. Do you know what happened?
Apparently, my YouTube channel got taken down for who I subscribe to. LOL. I had to redo my YouTube channel. What was the cause of your YouTube channel getting taken down, I wonder?
Oh, somebody's. I don't think it was hers. It's a channel she subscribed to.
Huh. Interesting. Like Gothex and Michael Knowles? And Candace Owens. I don't know who those are. Are you hanging your ornaments up, Alistair? That's good. Last of me and my buddy's gifts managed to arrive. Ah, excellent. Because I don't buy into left propaganda. Whatever floats your boat. Having fun listening to one of your favorite a cappella groups, the Tenors? Went grocery shopping again, Alistair? Yeah.
Plus the tenors we listen to. Oh, does she mean like the 3 tenors?
No, she's saying she listened to one of her favorite groups, the a cappella groups.
Well, yeah, because my husband and I came across the tenors because we listened to the a cappella groups like Free and Plate Tectonics. I always call it Plate Tectonics because I don't know how to pronounce that correctly. And so it ends up becoming a whole, continental drift conversation instead by accident. But the tenors, my mom, the only tenors I know is like the 3 tenors my mom used to listen to. I don't remember who all was in it. I just remember Pavarotti was like one of them. I don't remember who the other 2 are.
They did a cover of a Queen's "Who Want to Live Forever."
Don't know that song. I mean, I know who Queen is. I just don't listen to them. My understanding of Queen music pretty much comes from Wayne's World.
Wayne's World, huh?
Yeah, in the movie they were singing a Queen song. Galileo, Galileo, Galileo. Jens is on.
Jens is on. Is he doing soy nerds?
I know, like what the episode 30. Like Christ, man. Jesus. God love him.
Awesome. You heard the Stone Ocean anime finally finished and managed to subscribe to a channel that fanned of the entirety of Steel Ball Run and early half of Jojo Lion. Ah. Yeah, I haven't checked out Stone Ocean anime just yet, but I'll get there eventually. Music means a lot in my home, from Celtic and Norwegian music to heavy metal and goth. Symphonic that my husband and I share a love for. I'm looking forward to see what Part 9 JoJo Lands has to offer. Me too.
Yeah. Oh, meow meow. It's Michelle.
Oh, okay. What's your question? I'll try to answer it best as I can.
Yeah. Okay.
Just give you a minute here.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's an absolute shit show. So I really don't blame you, honestly. Just make sure you're in a state that minds their own fucking business for the most part when you homeschool. Oklahoma's actually really good about it, as far as I can tell. there's lots of homeschooling options, but this Oklahoma State Constitution actually says that you can come up with your own curriculum and they're not supposed to interfere as long as the kids can pass basic shit. It's just easier to get a program that already has like a curriculum laid out. It's just easier that way.
Sat down with my husband, and he and I talked about when our children are old enough for school. I want to homeschool them like my parents did for me and my two brothers. I don't want my children in the American school system.
Yeah, it's a shit show.
We live in Rhode Island. More my love.
Oh God, get the fuck out of the East Coast, girl. Oh
hey,
shit.
Dad by the Sword, how are you?
Oh darn it, you got your porn bots
again.
You gotta.
You had a wrench.
I'm working on it. Oh my God, it said error occurred while I was trying to do it. Oh shit. Like, I'm not even kidding.
What?
Oh darn it, as soon as I clicked off of it, I was gonna share the screen to show you. Okay, yeah. Let's see what happens again.
Oh, Die by the Sword got it. Okay, thank you, Die by the Sword.
Yeah, hold on. This is basically what happened. See right there.
Oh, I only think you can do it on the YouTube side of things.
I don't know. But I thought it was weird. I got an error message for it. Because it says block user. So I went to block user and it told me it was an error trying to do it. And I'm like, what?
Huh.
Oh, hold on. I think you should abandon the entire East Coast, honey. It's a shit show. Sorry. You get hurricanes, but you don't get the tropical weather of being in the South. And they're kind of, I don't know, you should look up and see what Rhode Island's laws are for homeschooling before you end up like in some kind of insane situation. Because who knows? But definitely check that out. Moving's expensive, so see what the laws look like before you make a run for it. Although I think the middle of the country is probably a better idea. Maybe like Oklahoma, Arkansas, whatever. Just not the East Coast. Because it's bad.
Getting tired already?
Ugh, no. I just remember the good my mother and dad did with homeschooling with me and my older brothers. Yeah, I'm all for the idea of doing it. I'm just saying, like, make sure you're in a state that's not going to give you any shit about it. Because yikes, that would not be fun. Being homeschooled, I excelled. Then went to college in Britain. That sounds fun.
I wish I was homeschooled, but that wasn't an option for me. What?
Her friends could look at her and tell she's not American. Once I open my mouth, you can hear Irish and Norwegian accent. Right? Yeah, that'll blow their minds. They'll be like, "What?" I'm sure it's fine, Alistair. You're just trying to help.
Yeah. Moira, maybe this is a question for you.
Sorry, I was in the kitchen. What?
Michelle's asking, I don't know what age should I get my daughter tested.
See, we already allowed the doctor to do a genetic screening. Ew. Yikes. Hold on. I didn't know what age I should get my daughter tested. They say the sooner the better, but
I don't
your daughter's
know.
a year old. Well, there are certain things they can look for in a 1 year old, like whether or not she can make eye contact, how her like functioning is, like motor skills and stuff. I mean, they're not gonna be great because she's a year old, but go to a couple places and see what they say. But yikes, doing genetic screening for the unborn. Yikes! Like, what does that involve? Because that kind of freaks me out. Does that involve like needles going in there? Because
I don't know. I don't have a kid.
that's what I'm asking her, Goober Nuts. Besides, you might have read an article. You could have.
Not what I'm painting, I'm not.
Really? Your daughter's a year old and you got another one on the way. Girl, tell him to leave you alone for a little bit. Oof. Gotta let you recover. Oh. The idea of doing that freaks me out. I'm not gonna lie. So far, everything's negative. Okay. Well, that takes care of like hormonal and chromosomal issues. Autism would not show up on a screening like that. But at least you narrow down any possibilities. Oh, and I know it sounds weird, but do not take what is that shit? That folic acid shit? What is that?
I don't know.
Uh Prenatal vitamins. Those are actually a total scam. Mora, yeah, apparently I'm like mother in that regard when it comes to being fertile. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, hello, Geek Hero. How are you, darling?
Hello, Geek Hero Bubba.
Hold on, I'm going to the kitchen. Wow, that is bright. That is super bright. Nobody's going to think it by accident. I got to look away. Dee Dee's little boyfriend. Well, he's like collared me. But I say little as a term of endearment. Hold on. Oh, hello, Dan. How are you, darling?
Hey, Big
Your
Guy
husband
Dan.
calls you his little baby making factory. Yikes.
Oh, I must have. I need to check my Twitter.
That's kind of, like, I hope he's being cute and not that he has a breeding fetish. That'd be weird. Be right back.
Boom, there's the link. So hop on in. Hey, Kikara Baba.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Yeah, nah. It's kind of boring on my side. I figure I'm just out here, freezing my. Well, anyway, I'm freezing, but
Yeah. It's supposed to get really cold in Texas about on Thursday.
Well, see, I'm in Oklahoma, and we're getting the preliminary right now. It ain't supposed to get real cold until Thursday, and it is. It's about to drop into the sub-zero temperatures, and I'm not going to lie, as terrible as that is, it's also kind of exciting. I like to see it do that every once in a while.
Let's see. Tomorrow is going to be 34, and then on Thursday it's going to be like 12. Friday, 10 at the lowest. Yeah, and it's starting tomorrow, and then the temperature is going to dip really south.
Yeah. Well, as long as y'all ain't got any more surprise snowstorms down there, that was something else.
Yeah, I remember. That was a couple of years ago.
Word's coming.
But yeah,
everybody get their everyone bundle up this weekend because it is going to start to get real cold.
Well, whoever's been dreaming of a white Christmas needs to stop it.
Right?
Yeah, let's see. I'm going to get all my grocery shopping done tomorrow because I don't want to go outside on Thursday during all that, to be honest.
Well, I work 4 p.m. to midnight, and so it's not that bad because the real bad weather isn't supposed to hit, and I mean it's going to be cold, but like the snow and stuff isn't supposed to hit until like late into the overnight. Mm-hmm. So I am very fortunate because I just recently got this shift. I have been the overnight guy, and that would have been me out there,
right.
freezing, and so I can leave that up to the new guy because, well,
if he poor new guy.
Oh man, no. Okay, first off, if he calls in, I'm going to his house and bringing him to work anyway. Okay. Secondly, after the last 3 years I've just had, how shorthanded we've been, how many people we went through, I have been averaging the last 2 months alone, 3 months, the last 3 months alone, I have been averaging 70-hour work weeks.
Woof.
Yeah, I'm good.
I drop my PayPal real quick. Holy shit.
You know, where that it really getting me ahead. See, the problem is that when you work like that, you don't have time to cook, you don't have time to prepare anything, and
Right.
you end up spending so much on fast food or quick, whatever that. And I've also got this bad habit. The more depressed I feel, the more I buy
Oh my
random
goodness!
crap.
And the more I eat when I'm depressed,
Same
See,
here.
and
Same here.
I'm depressed a lot.
yeah, well, see, and that's the thing. I eat too much anyway, but it doesn't really affect my eating very often. What does happen though is that the impulse buying goes way through the roof. Like,
I don't even, I've always been poor, so like my idea of like impulse buying was going to Goodwill on and have like 2 bags of clothes and be like, woo, that was a long time ago though.
well, and that's the thing. Like, say I'm at the Walmart, and no Target. Say I'm at the Target, and the Target's got some kind of deal going on some action figure, and even with that deal, it's still more than what I would normally want to pay for that action figure. Obviously I don't want it that bad, or I wouldn't scoff or I wouldn't balk at the price. But if they catch me on a bad day, especially like I've just done a 16, I've got 8 hours off and I'm about to go in and do another 12.
Oof.
And for some weird ass reason, I'm not asleep. And that does happen way more often than I'd like to admit. What happens at that point is I start like talking myself into it. I'm like, I really shouldn't. I really, I don't need this. This doesn't even go with the rest of my collection. Next thing I know, it's being regifted at Christmas time.
Hey, that's not necessarily a bad thing, though.
Yeah. Well, I do. A lot of my impulse buys become regifts at Christmas time.
Well, that's kind of good, though.
It is.
Yeah.
That works out. It just means you got your Christmas shopping done early.
Yeah, that's very true. The only things I've got left when I get paid this week, the only things I got left are the things like gift cards, stuff you ain't ever got to worry about them running out of.
Right.
I get all my shopping done, so I'm good.
You fancy cat.
Hey, big kid. Hey.
We did it the same time. Sorry. I was just trying to get the mouse over there, and we got you at the same time. Like, my bad.
Okay, you guys are talking about impulse buying. I'm really bad at impulse buying with food.
Yes. I've tried to crack down on it really hard.
I may not be a kid, but I'm still a fat kid. Okay, I'm bad at impulse buying food.
I've been trying to crack down on that really hard. My friend, apparently he lost a lot of weight, cutting out a lot of carbs out of his diet, which is kind of hard to do because he's a truck driver. So majority of the time he finds food, it's like at some restaurant. And so I was like, take me on a tour and show me your ways, Jedi. And so I was looking at stuff. I'm like, ooh, bananas. And he pulls up a picture, and it's like the information, like nutritional information of bananas and how high the carbs are. I'm like, oh my God, that's a whole fucking sandwich. Are you shitting me?
Yes, but it also depends. That depends on what time you get them. If the more ripe they are, the higher the carbs are because the glucose and how sweet they get. So it just again, bananas have a different.
It intensifies,
I did not know that, but these would have been probably they're probably right at the right place for that. And and I'm sitting here like, oh my God, I feel so betrayed. And then I found out canned fruit's high carbs, and I'm like, are you kidding?
Oh yeah. When you start
smart by fooling my sweet tooth by having fruit. Fuck.
Well, okay, but that's it's a double-edged sword though. See, the problem is on the one hand, yes, you're still consuming the carbs, but on the other hand, you're also getting the other vitamins and nutrients that you wouldn't normally be getting if you ate candy or cake, so on and so forth. But the problem with this is, what a lot of people don't understand is, canned fruit, frozen fruit, that kind of thing, the preservatives might be a big problem, but nowhere near as big of a problem. If you look at all, and I mean all of our produce right now that you can buy in a grocery store, all of it has been genetically modified, genetically engineered. If you go buy your own, yeah, you're doing a little bit better if you're growing your own, but if you ask, if you ask your great grandfather, well, obviously, you know what I mean. But the point is that a banana from 100 years ago and a banana now are completely different fruits, almost.
Well, yeah, I mean they breeded the plants in a certain way, so that I
Yeah,
knew. Like when I talk about genetically modified, I mean they did weird ass gene splicing in a lab. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, no, that's what happened to the banana. That's literally what they did to it.
But yeah, they started making bananas before they had the technology to do like the weird stuff in the lab. They just breeded them a certain way.
Well, how do you think they got to that point, though? I mean, everything has been, everything has been working up towards what they're doing now, and
right. Yeah, that's where I have the problem. It's just that's my argument. Like when people go, well, bananas have been genetically modified for many, many, many years, and I'm like, that's not what I mean.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had heard. Hi, Sword. How are you, darling?
If you want canned fruit, it's about 40-50 cents more per can, but get it in water instead of fruit juice.
I have a hard time hearing you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
You're just muffled.
I hear you clearly.
Okay.
You'll have to translate possibly.
Okay. Get canned fruit in water instead of juice. You'll cut out about a third of the carbs.
I to be fair, like I can't necessarily control what fruit cans come into the house per se, but I do take the fruit and like rinse it out. I rinse all that syrup stuff out.
Yeah, the syrup's the worst, but you can get it in water, you can get it in juice, and you can get it in syrup. And syrup's the worst.
Yeah, I take it out and I rinse all that off of there as much as I can because I'm just like.
Although when I'm making a Christmas Jell-O and I'm adding a fruit cocktail to the mix, it is really, really awesome. Terrible for you, but awesome to add the fruit syrup into the Jell-O, like as it's solidifying, and it just adds a whole flavor to it.
Okay, is this any better? I fussed with the settings.
It still sounds kind of muffled.
Okay, well, let me fuss with it a little bit more.
Maybe it's too close to your mouth or something.
It's on my headset. That's weird.
Well, but yeah, the little thing can move up or down, I think.
Okay, is this any better?
A little. What in the world is going on out there? Let me go see what silliness is going on out there.
Okay. How's Raquel?
Good. Painting.
Do you get any sleep?
No. Been busy all day.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I ended up waking up at like 8 o'clock at night yesterday and getting sleep at about 9 o'clock this morning.
Woof.
Oh, woof is right. And then my neighbor wakes me up at 1:30, says, "Hey, you got a package." Oh. Okay, is this any better?
I hear you fine. I don't know why Laura's having a hard time.
I have no idea. I mean, I fuss with the settings as much as I can. And that's the word of the night. Fuss. How you doing, Geek Hero Bubba?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
You at work, you said?
Just literally chilling at work.
Okay. How is it outside over there?
Well, that's the emphasis on chilling. Now it is the temperature's dropping by the hour out here, but we're not supposed to get the real cold stuff until the day after tomorrow.
Awesome movie. Awesome movie.
Staying with me Thursday.
Awesome
hey,
movie.
Kronos, what's up?
Oh, Kronos, hello. Long time no see.
Howdy, Kronos.
Yeah, it's about 30 over here.
Supposed to be 30 tomorrow.
It is 28. Oof.
Oof.
Yeah, 30 up here right now.
It makes my ears wilt. Hi, Kronos. Purr.
Oh, nice. I'm still at 34. We're still above freezing. Booyah. Break out the cantina shorts. No, anyway.
It's like 44 degrees where I am at.
Oh, it just dropped to 27. But, yeah, like in true Oklahoma form, I'll have a hoodie and still have my sandals on.
Well, yes, but we're also the people that yell at everybody to get in the tornado shelter, then go out and stand and watch it.
Well, yeah, we'll stand near the tornado shelter. Yeah. Film it.
We
got to film it for science.
It's only time. It's only time to get down in it. Yeah, it's only time to get down in it when we see the trailer houses flying.
Yep. Well,
when you see it, that's when you should go down.
Well, yes.
Oh Lord, that depends on how far away it is. That depends on how far away it is. If we got in the tornado shelter every time we saw a tornado off in the distance, we'd never get to see the tornado.
My motto is:
I have lived here 7 years and I have not seen a tornado in
cover.
I've seen 2. My entire life, I've seen 2, and both of them were so far away that it was really cool to watch the drop down.
Wow.
They went back up and they hit out in the middle of nowhere where nobody'd get hurt. So, like I said, I can honestly say they were a really cool sight to see.
Oh, and remember, kids, if you're ever watching a tornado and it looks like it's not moving, that means it's coming towards you.
Yes.
I feel like that was important to let everybody know. And they go, "That's weird, it's standing still." No, it's not.
I was fixing to say it's very important to let people know that now, because as the weather starts to get weirder in different parts of the world, and like me, everybody's like, "Well, what are you doing looking up hurricanes? You live in Oklahoma." Listen, there might come a day when we need to know about hurricanes in Oklahoma.
Yeah, because like every time they come up, they just barely graze Arkansas, but they don't. But one day it might be just big enough to kind of tail with us as well.
Well, I had a neighbor who they laughed at her for freaking years. My own parents laughed at her about because she bought a whole bunch of extra insurance, including earthquake insurance, on her house. And she carried that insurance for 10 years, paying barely anything into it. And then when they started all the fracking stuff, bear in mind, Oklahoma sits in the center of the largest fault line in North America.
I know.
I'm sorry. I really thought that was the San Andreas fault.
No, it's in the center of the country.
No. That's the second biggest. We've got the biggest, and it stretches from Kansas to Oklahoma to North Texas, like to the Dakotas. Like it is huge.
My ears
and
what?
Yeah. Anyway, it's so anyway, we've got this giant fault line, and of course, most of the earthquakes have stopped since they started being more selective about where they were fracking.
Yeah,
but
I haven't had an earthquake around here in probably close to 10 years.
Well, and see, that's the thing. It was about 10 years ago when all that stuff, when all of them started getting real big and bad. Back when I first started security work. But yeah, no. Like I said, it gets crazy because I'm not against fracking, but I am against doing it where it's stupid to do it. And it's very stupid to do it right along a fault line. And anyway, so they, they had, where was I? I completely got derailed there.
I do that too. My ADHD is like squirrel.
Yeah. Well, anyway, point is, anyway, so my neighbor, she had her earthquake insurance, and it was hilarious. Now, we all know, being her neighbors, we knew that earthquake did not do any damage to her house whatsoever. But what did happen is there was a lot of just random disrepair that she was then able to cash in on that earthquake insurance for. And she did. She got her whole, like her driveway redone.
She played that long game.
Oh yeah, and what's funny is it had only cost her about all of her whatever she is paying it 4 times a year. It was like every 3 months or whatever, and it was only costing her like an extra $20 or something. And so that they basically paid it all back to her after those earthquakes.
I'd be so proud of that long game. I wouldn't even snitch on her. I'd be like, you know what? Well played, lady. Well played.
Oh, ain't none of us snitched on her. There wasn't nobody that thought that was anything but awesome.
I just wanted to get to Michelle's comment here.
She's worried that her kids will be bullied for being immigrants like her and her brother.
But yeah, but she says won't be bullied. Like, huh?
Yeah, her son won't be bullied for being immigrants because
oh, okay, I'm reading it wrong.
Here. I was giving you the gist of it.
Yeah, I read that wrong. Oops.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like if you want to homeschool them, then yeah, that's probably the best bet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm tired. I didn't have my cat nap today.
Well, Cronus, you just might.
Hey, Philip Blair! Long time no see.
Meow meow. Philip, how are you? Not illegal, just hush.
Here's what you do. You find you a community where they've got what your kids need are big, loud, obnoxious, open-minded friends. See, I happen to be a big, loud, obnoxious, open-minded friend for many people that felt underprivileged in when I was growing up, and ain't nobody go. I mean, they ain't even got to be particularly big and strong. Just make sure they've got that friend that nobody wants to be on the other side of. Nobody wants to listen to him or her rant for 3 days. Nobody wants to. I mean, like I said, they've got to be like a sounding trumpet. Jokes aside, now my mother taught me this very, very young. There, three simple words. Four simple words. Damn, my math is off today. Stick with the herd. Find a group of friends. They will not attack you when you're with other people. And if they do, at least you're with other people. And I mean, that's just the way it goes. If you run around by yourself, if you alienate and isolate yourself, you are going to be a target. That's just the way it is. So that's what your kids, if they end up in public school, and it don't matter what color, whatever's going on, if your kid has a herd, they are a whole lot less likely to be in the crosshairs.
Hey, Alistair.
Sup?
Hey.
Hey.
Evening.
Hey, Alistair.
How's it going, BK?
Oh, lovely. How about yourself tonight?
Doing good. Finally put up some my ornaments for this year on my Christmas tree.
Nice.
Nice.
Yep. Okay,
Any special ones? Any special ones?
Just the little ones. Well, just the little ball ones of the the sickles and some of the other stuff that was left on from last year.
We're not putting up our Christmas tree. We don't have any room for it.
And here's the star from last year.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, shiny.
Mauro, when he's done showing us, I've got an idea for you.
And
I'm not
we're going to replace it with this. Oh, sorry.
What is that? Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah, a mini LED tree topper.
LED, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Calls him how he sees him. That's all I'm doing for him. I calls him how he sees him.
You know, my
All right,
dad did.
Oh.
He didn't put a star ornament on top of the tree. No. He put those Santa hats. Yeah, it says Buffalo Sabres on it, and he put it on top of the Christmas tree.
Oh, for
Nice.
That is awesome.
No, so here's what you do, Mara. You do what my grandma did.
But all right.
Hold on, she's what?
What's
Hold on,
up?
he's trying to tell me what to do with my tree.
Oh yeah, all right. So here's what you do. You get you some garland. It can either be like the kind that blends in with the tree, or it can be like silver and gold. And you put it on the wall, either tape it, tack it, whatever you got to do, in the shape of a tree, like crisscross it down, make it wide at the base, crisscross it like a tree, and then hang some ornaments on that. And it's not in the way. It's up against the wall. And it's an instant Christmas tree.
But you're assuming that I have an open wall to do this.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
What about a door?
Our oven is in the front room. All right. Like.
Yeah.
I want you to understand how weird this is all. Like, the couch is like against the east wall. The oven is at the south wall, and so is the Bowflex thing. Then the east wall has the door, a bookcase, the TV, filing cabinet, and then the south wall has a bunch of Chris's mom stuff that we still haven't managed to get to her to Texas yet. So.
Oh, okay. I mean this with the utmost respect and love in my heart. I am not making fun of you, but I am making fun of your house. So just a moment. This house is like what would happen if Willy Wonka, if Charlie's family, Charlie Bucket's family, just got a little lump sum of money, and instead of moving into a good house, decided just to build onto their little hovel.
Yeah, that's about what happened.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Except that the add-on of the house was done before we moved here.
Well, no, I wasn't saying that you were responsible for it. I was just saying that, wow. I've seen a few houses like that, though, that are pieced together over time, you know.
I'm not sure why the original stove, like the stove we have in the kitchen that doesn't work, like hasn't been taken out in this stove. Oh, I think maybe because it was the wrong size. I think that's what happened. So the stove is now, like, the working stove is in the front room. The refrigerator is outside.
That happens.
Yeah.
Well, you know, in Alaska, they keep freezers and refrigerators specifically so their food doesn't freeze.
I mean, it kind of does. Though. It gets pretty cold sometimes, and like the stuff in the fridge freezes.
Well, yeah, but in there, people in Alaska, like where it gets real cold, they'll put their food in the refrigerator because it'll stay cold but not freeze.
Right.
Like, so it's doing the opposite of what we all use a refrigerator or a freezer for.
Well, it's climate controlled.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I have to go make sure the children are not misbehaving.
Oh, boy. Well, and tomorrow, me and my dad are going to go get some haircuts.
Oh, nice.
How many of your characters' hair is going to get cut? All of them or just a few?
Just cut it in a way where it ain't as, super short, because I always got the...
Sorry, bad joke. How many hairs are you going to get cut? A couple or just all of them? Sorry,
well, usually... Joke. You're fine. For most of my life, I usually got the little boy haircut where it just mostly just cutting to the point where my hair is not as cut my hair is super short and almost to a bald almost to a point where it's almost like being bald, but at the same time your hair's still there. Oh, sorry.
A buzz haircut. Yeah. Where it's like
But,
half an inch long, half the quarter inch long. Yeah, a buzz, it sounds like.
Yeah, and though now since I'm a big boy now, I just usually get usually the sides of my hair cut, but at the same time don't get the top of my hair intact. Leave it intact, you know.
That's bad, Colonels. That is bad. Okay, I better. Yeah. Yeah, that's bad, Colonels. That's bad. As places potato won't go. Okay, seriously.
I don't know, but I could be wrong.
Potato won't even say things like that. Oh, we lost Geek Carol. We'll say go back to work.
I guess you had to go back to work, I guess.
Yeah.
And in case of my hair does get way too big and long and shaggy, I usually do get it mostly all cut off, you know, just so I can so that way blackheads or zits don't form on top of my head.
Nope, he's back.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Pressed the wrong button, and then all of a sudden, like, everything nuked itself.
Been there.
We thought you had to go back to work.
Yeah, well, no, I've been doing my job this entire time. Every time I mute, it's because I'm having to do something.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Haha, I got you saying it. Fair enough. I got you saying it. Yeah.
I say it all the time, but what got me started saying it. Do any of y'all remember the G4 TV show Code Monkeys?
No.
Crap. Okay. The original G4 TV was freaking perfect. Like they can bitch about it all they want, and all the crap they've done now they can, you know, beat right off. But the point is that they had this. Have any of y'all seen Gravity Falls?
I have.
A couple episodes.
I've seen
like a couple episodes. Yeah.
Okay. So Mr. Larity, the guy that owns Gameavision, makes Grunkle Stan look upstanding, and it's great because you know he's supposed to be a stereotypical rich old Texas white man, son of an oil tycoon. He's got other business ventures, but anyway, it's hilarious because he. Yeah, at one point in time, and he's one of those that'll drop seeds of wisdom, you know, just randomly, you know, to his employees and all that, you know. But it's great because every once in a while somebody will say something, like he'll question them about the validity of whatever stupid thing they're doing, and they'll give him some stupid ass answer, and he'll be like, fair enough. You know, and it just, and so that got me started saying that, like, constantly. It's my friends and family that know where I got the reference from are so tired of hearing it, it's not even funny. Oh, it is funny. I do laugh at them all the time, but that's not the point.
Fair enough.
Exactly.
And not to mention the creators of Gravity Falls are now making a new show called Owl House so far.
Oh, that one's already ended.
Oh, it already did?
Yeah, that one. That they've already canceled that one.
Aw, man.
Oof. That sucks.
Yeah, it does, because everybody was liking that one. I never got a chance to see it, but yeah, I know that everybody is liking that one, and it's already ended. What wasn't that one on Netflix?
You see, I mean, heck, between it or Amphibia, I figured I was starting to get morbidly curious about. I ultimately ended up, you know, got curious to see Owl House more due to the fact that it was made by the Gravity Falls team, and someone I was talking to about it told me that the creator, who also voiced Seuss and Grunkle Stan also voiced some characters in that show too.
Yeah, well, and the guy, what was it, Alex Hirsch or whatever, the creator of the main creator of Gravity Falls, he's also like real big friends with the dude that made Rick and Morty, and there's
Really?
even some. Yeah, there's even some like really funny oh crap, the guy that plays Morty played he played the like time traveling cop in Gravity Falls. But anyway, the point is, yeah, the point is that they are that they're friends, and there is this episode. These two episodes were airing on the same day, and you see a bunch of stuff come out or like go through a portal that Grunkle Stan has opened, and accidentally, and he closes it. But then later on, if you were watching Adult Swim that same night, the corresponding episode of Rick and Morty, you see Rick open up his portal, and those same three items come out of his portal.
Damn.
Yeah, it little winks and nods like that,
Well, that was on. That's not. Now this is honestly getting me more curious about seeing that show. But I might have to rewatch Gravity Falls and finish that first, since I haven't seen every single episode out of it, but I have seen a lot amount of some episodes, but not all of them.
Yeah,
it's definitely worth watching. If you like silly cartoons that poke fun at conspiracy theories, it's a really good one.
Yeah, and especially if you're a fan of cryptids too, and the supernatural.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. I miss Secret Saturdays so much. Like that show didn't make it through the writer's strike back in the day, and that back, what was it, like 2012, and that show deserved to come back.
But at least it did came back in the form of a episode of Ben 10 Omniverse. So
well, yeah, but that's I don't like Omniverse. After the original Ben 10 continuity, they just kind of messed it up. Everything got stupid.
I say I tried a number. It's Ben 10, then Ben 10
Alien Force.
Alien Force.
And Generator X.
And Ultimate Alien.
Yeah, Ultimate Alien.
Oh, you're talking about the Ben 10. Okay, so the first three Ben 10 series were in the same. It was the original Ben 10, then it was Alien Force, and then I forget, or
Ultimate Alien.
Ultimate Alien, and then after that, there was another continuity, and then the current continuity.
I thought Omniverse was in the same continuity as the first three shows.
It was
Ben. Was it? Because I don't like that art change if it is.
Ben
yeah,
10
they did. It is
in
part of the same continuity as the first three shows, but they went with the art style change, and it was being made. And it was made by the same guy that did the animation and art style for Teen Titans and Transformers Animated.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah,
and
Ben 10 was from 2005, and then you got Ben 10 Alien Force, Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, and then when the Ben 10 Omniverse came around, they changed the art style, and I just didn't like it.
Yeah, and funny enough, they did try to pull off a wizard did it excuse in one of the episodes by saying the Super Sapiens changed the look of the world.
I just didn't like how they should have stuck with the art they have been going with Ben 10 Alien Force, but they changed it, and I wasn't feeling it.
I'll tell you, the worst art change of all time ever is American Dragon Jake Long.
I didn't really. I watched a few episodes of that, and I just lost interest.
Well, when they changed that art, like the problem was that all the people that followed that show and thought it was great, you couldn't even believe it was the same show. Like they should have either done the second art from the beginning or kept it the way it was originally. But it was just for some reason they changed the art style completely, and that was just a really stupid move.
Uh-oh. My connection's jumping a little bit.
And to also mention this about Omniverse 2, well, two things. It ended up explaining that basically made himself into a paradox because he basically made himself into the reason why the Omnitrix came to the Earth, and he found it in the first place when he was 10. And
So a
there was
past future kind of timeline.
Yeah.
Well, and I always love it when they accidentally like cut off other future versions of themselves. Like the first time we see Ben in the future was the Ben 10,000 episode, and that was freaking amazing. But then they do several things that completely cut that future off. Like there's no way that future can come true now. You know, and so, but I don't know. I like the future, you know, fluidly ever changing kind of thing. Anyway, I don't like there to be anything set in stone. But
me too.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
And there was also going to be another season to round out the whole original Ben 10 world, and with Nice Bowl with a road trip season, which was going to round out some loose ends and finish the story there.
I
never got into Ben 10. Sorry, I never got into Ben 10.
Oh, nice.
And well, sadly, that didn't come to fruition due to toy sale reasons.
Yeah, well, because they didn't market the toys well enough back then. Like
I have to say, the Green Lantern and the Beware the Batman were canceled because of the toy sales.
And see, and that's the thing. Like those shows were good. Now I didn't like how heavily they relied on Professor Pig and Beware the Batman, but you know that's he was one of those characters that was, you know, I don't think he was ever meant to be a main villain, but you know, then but I could live with it. It was okay, but the whole thing with Katana being his main sidekick did kind of throw me off. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, no, the having Atrocitus in that Green Lantern series was cool, and but I'll tell you, Young Justice, as weird as they've been with everything, I feel so sorry for that show. Like anybody who loves and works on that show, because they had a really good, excellent ratings for season 1. Almost didn't get a season 2. Had to fight for a season 2. Then they get canceled anyway, not because the show had low ratings, not because of even the toy sales. It was because of projected toy sales. It was because it wasn't hitting the demographic that they wanted it to hit. They're like, well, teenage girls don't buy, they're the ones that like the show the most, and you know that they don't buy toys like, you know, little boys do. And I'm thinking there are two problems with that argument. One, a little boy doesn't care what show a Batman figure comes from. He's gonna have mommy and daddy buying the Batman figure regardless. Two, bullshit. Teenage girls do buy action figures. I have seen it.
I agree with you. That's the thing. It's not just Barbie dolls they're into.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, like there are plenty of teenage girls that are now adult girls in my particular life. But I mean, you know, from my fiance to ex-girlfriends to you know, my sisters, my cousins, like it just, yeah, no, there are plenty of teenage geek girls buying action figures, but and the anime industry could have told them that. But I'll tell you what it really was, and nobody wants to admit this, but the original design artist for the for the Young Justice show, he got the bright idea to look up Young Justice online and found out what Rule 34 was real fast. And
jeez.
no, that's not even a joke. He stepped away from the show because of that. And the reason why the show got canceled primarily was not only because Warner Brothers was getting ready to switch out Cartoon Network and how they were doing everything, but also because they didn't feel like without him they could really keep the show going. And but yeah, no, he did not like, and I quote, the homoerotic art that was being drawn using his character designs. Like, I'm thinking, why the hell are you online looking them up anyway? You know, that's the base of depravity on this planet, is the internet. You know, just don't, if you don't like it, don't look at it. Do your show and shut up. But anyway, that's you know, that I've been told that's not a good attitude to have either. But anyway, so apart from that, the Thundercats show from 2011 got canceled at the same time, despite also, so Beware the Batman, Green Lantern, Thundercats, and Young Justice, all four had the highest ratings on Cartoon Network. They were like, those were the big shows at the time, because this is after the first continuity of Ben 10 had ended. They hadn't started the second one yet. The Generator X had ended. Several other shows. So they had this handful of shows that survived the writer's strike and were going to keep going anyway, and then they just tanked them. And then next thing you know,
like that, Alistair. I think you like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, I did see the show before, but not all the episodes. But still sucks to know that it did got canned.
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, the thing, and I'm not gonna lie, and I lose, like, I cannot speak to a nerd over the age of 40 that will not like come at me sideways over this. But I like the 2011 Thundercats show better than the original Thundercats show.
Oh, okay, that's your opinion. I mean, yeah, I can see most of the who are a fan of the Thundercats will say, "No, you're wrong." But I like,
Well, but I didn't say it was better. I said I liked it better.
I get you. I get you. And I respect your opinion.
And I also like the 2003 or the 2002 He-Man better than the original. I felt like the originals had a tendency to be a little bit on the boring side on certain episodes, whereas they were trying to build. Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel you on that. Some of the episodes, I haven't seen He-Man, but some of the episodes of Thundercats were like, kind of lackluster.
And I also heard the 3D He-Man cartoon was pretty good. The one on Netflix is pretty good. Not the.
I've heard okay things about it.
And I heard one guy saying good things about it.
So I went to the mall. Or to the bookstore. Well, it's attached to the mall. But yeah, I went to the bookstore today. And I have been there for a long while, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time I was there, I usually go there just to buy manga books and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, last time I was there, there was like two very long shelves of manga books, and the other side there was like a whole row of DC and Marvel comic books.
Okay.
I went there today after a very long while. A whole aisle of manga books and light novels, and then I looked to the corner, like 2 bookshelves or 3, tucked away. And 3 bookshelves were the DC and Marvel comic books. It's like, well, this is very quite telling. Like, manga's on the rise, and DC Comics and Marvel are going down the tubes, and it shows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it didn't need to be that way. There was
No.
once upon a time where you could have, I mean, and I'm not talking about the 90s. I'm not talking about when comic books were unrealistically like, you know, high value. I'm talking, you know, like hitting those sales that they weren't going to ever hit again. What I'm saying is that if you go back to say like 2006 through 2010, comic books were high enough. The movies were doing real well. Comic books were still at a high enough, you know, market value that, you know, you would see it pretty even. You'd have 2 rows of manga and 2 rows of comics, and everything was great. And it's just, you know, now, and I love manga, I really do, but I also miss what comics used to be, and it hurts a lot. You know, used to it was like arguing over who had the best football team. You know, it's like you know, Texas versus Texas Tech or OU versus OSU. You know, those rivalries were fun. You know, but against anybody else, you like to see your rival win, and so, you know, it was always fun, you know, arguing with people over which was better, manga or comics. You know, and it was all in fun. You know, but people have their preferences and all that. But the problem is that somewhere along the way, manga didn't win because it got better. It did get better, but that ain't why it won. Manga won because comics just dropped the ball and just lost it. Like lost completely. They don't have their soul anymore. They, you know, I picked up, so I don't know if any of y'all saw it on Twitter, but I bought the new issue 1 of the Wildcats series that they come out with. And of course, Jim Lee still works for DC, but nobody was stupid enough to believe that Jim Lee had anything to do with the current Wildcats. But once upon a time, he sold his entire Wildstorm, you know, franchise, you know, parted ways from Image, sold it to DC, and then that is kind of part of the deal, I think, because suddenly he was one of the big bosses at DC, and he, you know, it's very clear he don't care about anything but money anyway. But not the point. The point is that I know what Wildcats were. I know what the rest of Wildstorm was, and what they have done. Even if you take out the splashes of woke from the first issue, and trust me, there's plenty of splashes of woke. If you take the woke out, the writing is still crap. I have never seen a dumber like representation of what something once was since I watched The Last Jedi.
Well, you know, because I don't want to say all, but some of these writers haven't read, like, for example, let's say a Spider-Man comic book. Haven't, you know, or don't like Spider-Man, like, and they're writing for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, like for Henry Cavill, he's a fan of the Witcher series, which is based off books. Believe it or not, it's not just based off a video game.
Yeah.
And the writers admit it. They haven't read any of the Witcher books, and they hate the Witcher series. And somehow they're producers and writers of the show.
Well, Marvel just admitted the guy that, I mean, this dude answers only to Kevin Feige. Well, you know, when he picks the writers for these shows, they specifically omit anybody who states that they were fans of the comic books or fans of the shows or fans of the movies growing up, because he doesn't want their continuity, their input in it. And that's what we have now. If you like something, that's what people keep saying. Well, what show would you like to see redone, or what would you like to see done right now? And immediately, all I can say is, I don't want anything done right now. I don't want them to touch anything that I love, anything else that I love. I want them to leave it alone. I want them to walk away until they find their brains that they shat out once upon a time. I want things to get better before they start trying to mess with what we love again. I was hearing rumors about, Highlander being rebooted, and I'm like, yeah, no, stay away from Highlander.
It is, unfortunately.
Oh God. Anyway, but then I heard a name and I'm like, if they touch this, forget. I mean, I don't want to give them the chance to ruin it. I want to go like, trust me, my fat ass can still drop kick somebody, and I promise you, if they touch the last Starfighter, I'm going to drop kick somebody. They're so the hands of ownership just changed again, and they're so whatever movie studio's talking about doing it, and everything, and I'm like, the biggest problem with that, see, the last Starfighter was a small sci-fi movie, a low budget sci-fi movie. It had a budget only about a third of the first Star Wars movie back in the 70s, and the first Star Wars movie basically had a jar full of change and some peanuts. George Lucas was just that good. The last Starfighter is one of those movies that, despite not having, and in the shadow of both Star Trek and Star Wars, this movie managed to show up, managed to work hard and win over the hearts and minds of fans. And it's a really cool story. Like, this kid ain't even from a small town. He's from a weird, like, mountainside trailer park on the outskirts of town, like in California. Like, he has no prospects. He's been rejected from all the colleges despite his grades being good and everything. Like, there is he doesn't have anything going for him except for having a loving family and a nice girlfriend, which is enough for most boys, but he wants more. Like, he wants to, he wants to do something with his life. He wants to be important. So when the one thing he is good at, this video game, the one thing he is good at turns out to be his ticket to saving the whole damn, galaxy, or several galaxies. Everything just starts to fall into place for him, and it is an excellent, awesome story, and it'll tug at your heartstrings the entire time. And of course, like I said, the whole story is, it gives you hope. It makes you think, okay, maybe this didn't pan out. Maybe this door is closed to me, but maybe, just maybe, I might have another one. Oops. Mm-hmm. And we don't really get that a whole lot anymore.
No.
And to also mention some stuff too. Three things. I also know the Halo TV show went for the same thing the Witcher series did, where the creators and the directors said they never played the games and don't like them, and it's also kind of sad that basically comics nowadays don't handle politics well, and all they do is just handling them like shit, to put it lightly.
To be honest, I don't understand this woke, gender identity, politics in our today's entertainment, and this just being shoved down our throats. I just don't really understand it.
Yeah,
well, I wouldn't mind it if they were making their own content. If they were making, but they're trying to steal an audience from another, from an established continuity and just plug and play like it's the name Superman that matters, like it's the name, Fantastic Four that matters, and it's not the name, it's the spirit and the feeling behind them. It's what they've always been. It's legacies, and they have to build their own legacies. And they don't seem to understand that. They want to skip the line. You have to build things from the ground up if you want a beloved fan base.
Yeah, I mean, heck, Hollywood was always leftist, but they really have become more extreme than ever. And there's also the fact that even those said, even the big IPs were already covering politics way better in the form of subtext and better writing. But these people are just, trying to, make a half-ass emulation of what they tried to did, but worse. And they think they're trying to reinvent the wheel, even though the wheel was already invented before they even tried.
Yeah, go back to Star Trek. Go back to Star Trek back in the 60s.
Yeah.
They were covering politics. Yeah.
Yes, but again, they did it in such a way. See, the difference between old media and new media is old media, unless it was black and white, pure, good versus evil, anything else, any shade of gray was presented from both sides. And just because Kirk and Spock didn't agree on something, or just because, Sulu thought something was barbaric, but, Scotty thought it was, normal, they presented both sides and let the viewer, let the patrons, the customers, the consumers, the fans, let the fans decide for themselves. Now, if you don't agree with what they're trying to beat you over the brow with, you're a 4-letter, socialist party from 1940s. From 1940s Germany. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that word, but anyway, the point, because I ain't trying to get anybody's streams taken down, but and that's the problem. There is no middle ground anymore. When Batgirl is in I have the comic book where she calls this other billionaire, like, he's not even the villain in the book. She's like, well, he's a climate change denier and that makes him a fascist and blah blah blah. And I'm like, it doesn't make any damn sense.
No.
Just because I don't agree with all that the climate change agenda is doing, it doesn't mean I don't believe we need to recycle. We need to clean up our ecosystem. We're doing things that we shouldn't be doing. And, there are places that certain types of waste probably shouldn't be poured into. That's plain and simple. But
for example, I think we have 2 giant islands of garbage on our oceans.
Yeah, and then there's Staten Island, too.
Dang, dude.
What?
That was great. You didn't miss a beat on that one.
Yep. Since I know it's an actual thing in New York, where all New Yorkers just go there and dump their dump up over there.
Oh man.
Saboteur.
Kind of like the castle moat in medieval days. If people fell in the moat with an open wound, they were losing that limb. It was never going to be the same after that.
Where's Kitty?
She muted.
What? She's eating?
She muted. I don't know where she went.
She said something about the kids and then making them behave and muted, and then that's the last we heard from her.
Yeah.
Like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Dang.
Where'd she go?
Those kids really are acting up, are they?
I didn't know. She's muted.
Who knows, man? Maybe she found a ball of catnip or something.
Maybe.
I would feel ashamed about how corny that was, but I don't feel ashamed about how corny anything is.
Yeah. And to also add to what you said Geek, not to mention, and this is based on points that Sapphire mentioned that I was basically on point, and what he said, and not to mention the person that was trying to make Catwoman say, "Well, this rich billionaire in a comedy loan, a fascist, is the one that's being the fascist because he or she is trying to enforce their will and beliefs on other people."
Yeah.
It does happen. Unfortunately, that's the way we live in this moment.
Yeah.
Mm,
And honestly, I honestly enjoy, I honestly enjoy being on the middle ground, and I don't care what anyone else says.
That's good.
exactly.
Well,
That's
see, and that's the thing. The vast majority of people, not just Americans, the vast majority of Western civilization are a little right from center or a little left from center. Very few of us are actually extremists, but what happens is we, as humans, we tend to see the extremists, and we tend to see one side get wrapped up into things, and we tend to take major offense to it, and then the normal people start taking sides. And if we could just reject the extremism, the problem is that what might seem extreme to one doesn't necessarily seem extreme to another.
right.
Again, I'm more of a case by case basis when it comes to this sort of thing. But when it comes to athletes, if somebody was born,
Later, Kronos. Yes.
All right, all right. Have a good night, Kronos.
later, Kronos.
Sorry, I had to say bye, Kronos.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me out.
But I mean, I don't necessarily think that I don't think that a guy that has been a guy his whole life until the last 2 years suddenly on hormone replacement therapy should necessarily be able to compete with regular women in sports. I feel like that might be a bit of an unfair advantage, and to them that makes me a bigot of some kind, and it's just again, I don't care what consenting adults do with each other. I don't care what consenting adults do to themselves, if it ain't hurting anybody. And I'll take it a step further. I know people that have hurt themselves and done so purposefully, and I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't choose it. I wouldn't like it if somebody I loved was doing it. But I don't know that I'm really in a position to judge them. They don't have the same, outlook on things that I do, obviously. And that's probably the hardest thing for a normal human, not an extremist. It's worse for an extremist. But it is that the hardest thing that a normal person of the right or left to do is to stop and assess and let go. To decide that their that their beliefs are not the only path, and it can be hard. Like there are a lot of things that I've seen people do that I'm thinking, why would you ever subject yourself or anybody that has to look at you to that, but I mean, that's admittedly that's that's my own preferences coming out.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a female and you identify as yourself as a male, I'm fine with that. Same as if you're a guy and you identify yourself as a woman, I'm fine with that. That's your choice.
Yeah.
But if you're like, say, competing in a women's swimming team, and you're clearly a transgender, yeah, I can see that it could be an unfair advantage to the rest of the team or to the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and bear in mind, just because they're on a team, they're still technically competing with each other as well. Like,
Right.
that's the problem, when you see, I mean, we all know who we're talking about here, the one case in particular, but the problem is that when you see somebody like that who has an arm stride that's, longer than most men's, and competing with women, and for every record that person supposedly breaks, for every for everything, it's hard not to think, well, the second and third place should be first and second, but that person sitting there in fourth, it's hard to believe. It's hard not to feel like you just cheated her out of a bronze medal,
Mm-hmm.
And that's, like I said, this stuff, the reason why these topics are so touchy, the reason why everything is so, why there's so much loaded against them is because there is no just straight up right or wrong answer. There are easy answers. The easiest thing to do would be to say that, you have to compete as, whatever you were born as. The problem is that there, again, like I said, let me put it into perspective. The one girl that played Dreamer from Supergirl, that girl has never went through male puberty. And nobody's being hurt by her playing female parts as an actress,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it depends on what field they're in, but I mean, obviously she's not going to be able, like, hell, go to a bicycle triathlon, the women that have been training for that, they would smoke my fat ass because I do not ride bicycles. I mean, but that's not the point. Somebody else that has been trained in that, in that capacity and has done this thing, their entire life, they're going to have, if they were born male, they're going to have a clear advantage over somebody born female. That's simple biology.
Yeah, I know. I know. Like I said, I don't. If you're a female, identify as a male, I'm cool with that. If you're a guy who identifies as a female, I'm fine with that. It's just, to me, if you're transgender female competing into a women's swimming event, I mean, I get you identify as a female. I get that. But you were born in a male body, period. Same as for women who identifies as a male. You were born in a female body, period. I get you identify as a transgender female, a transgender male. I get that. I'm totally fine with that. But if you're competing in a women's sport and you're currently a transgender female, that's not really fair to the rest of the people who are competing into this event.
Yeah, because they have biological differences to give them the advantage to,
I mean,
to do stuff that
men have more testosterone in their bodies than females do. They have more strength than we females do. That's just the facts right there.
And we're more big, and males are more bigger too, especially as a way to scare off other animals. And that's even the reason why. Sorry.
Sorry. All I was going to say is there are certain gymnastics. There are certain gymnastics that somebody born as a male cannot do. Our pelvic structure is not designed to be able to do that. So
hey guys. Yeah. I'm gonna get going. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Good night, DK Dan.
Later, man. You have a good night.
Anyway, you were saying?
I was just agreeing with you, because that goes both ways. There are also, like I said, there are also certain gymnastic events that nobody born with a male body can do correctly because we don't have the same pelvic structure as women do, and it shows. Like when you see the techniques that men use in their division are completely different than the techniques that the women use. Like, for instance, on the what do they call that? It's the when they're on the they call it a horse, but it's it's got the two bars on either side, and they do all the flips and stuff on it.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, either way, the point is that that's not something that men are just naturally able to do, and women have a higher proclivity for it. And so, I mean, it's like I said, it just bothers me because you don't see very many transgender women, if any, wanting the or transgender men, sorry, wanting to compete in men's in men's events. And it I think that kind of speaks for itself as to that whole situation. But and like I said, I'm not attacking anybody for their identity.
No,
That's
not me either. I mean, you do
Yeah, me
you.
neither.
Yeah. No, we want people to be themselves.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Be yourself.
It's just
but
that oh, sorry.
Die by Sword says, I think I'm making gumbo this weekend. Ooh, sounds delicious.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that you realize that your body isn't going to fully become one-to-one into a different gender, and there's and remnants of a certain biological aspects of yourself are still going to be there. I mean, the real world isn't like a movie, cartoon, comic, TV show, or manga and anime where when a guy gets turned into a girl and a girl gets turned into a guy and they become one-to-one with with male and female biology. There's basically still going to be remnants. It's kind of like with evolution where one species transition into another species or split off from their own species and become a new species. There's always going to be trade-offs. Like, for example, cetaceans, dolphins, whales, porpoises. They used to walk on land, but when their ancestors, swam in water more and went into the open ocean, they become big. They develop blubber, and they lost their legs and developed fins. And that's a trade-off. And the one thing they got is gigantic size and bigger mouths to feed krill. And considering they're still mammals, they have lungs and a blowhole, and they always need a surface to breathe air. While on the other hand, they still have the ability to maneuver through water. And it's same way with snakes, where they don't have legs anymore, but they manage. But the trade-off, as a result of the trade-off, they still move along on the ground in the trees fine. And then there's us, where our species came from a lineage of various different ancient species, and some stuff we still have remnants of. Well, like for example, when we hiccup, it comes from our fish ancestors when they first came onto land, and then there's amphibians where we and also where they first developed the protective shell of an egg. Or no, not not protective shell of an egg, but the first to grow on land and water, at least what I'm assuming. And then when they became reptiles, there's the scales and the reptilian brain, as a lot of people hypothesize, and along a few other things like fully developed lungs, teeth, etc. And then when that reptilian ancestors diverged from the reptile, the diapsid lineage, it became the synapsids, which are what the mammals encompass as. And then when we became mammals, we got fur, and we got became more warm-blooded, and we give birth to live young rather than crapping out the eggs, and the egg still remains inside us, and at least in females. And by the time the dinosaurs went extinct, and also some of the fangs in our mouths are basically remnants of our Cydont ancestors. since, well, some of them use it for either hunting, like kind of like big cats from prehistory, and digging holes from digging underground, and among other things. And then by the time when our rodent ancestors became primates, we gained more advantages, like especially after eating many bugs, like crawled on trees, swinging, communication, good eyesight, among other things. And by the time we retransitioned into Australopithecus, well, there's some trade-offs. Like, for example, we're now mostly just walk on the ground, and well, we weren't very good at it back then. And then we got easily, eaten by predators like some ancient big cats and crocs and hyenas. But the one advantages we got stem from tool use and the good eyesight and the running pretty fast while overheating. Though we can still get tired, but we still can go. We can still go run, chase prey. And then by the time when the Australopithecus lineage diverge into multiple different human species, like Denisovians and among other things. And then when the Homo sapien lineage came around, we basically excelled more in tool use, and we got more creative with our minds. But at the same time, another major disadvantage is that we're more soft, so we're not as well built as other animals. And but at the same time, we still exceed intelligence and tool use and crafting, among other things, just as an example. And so basically, no matter if your biology change, what a creature's biology change, there's still going to be remnants of it,
No, I see what you're saying. Sorry, I had to step away for a second, but I see what you're saying, and that's the thing. Even if you're like me and you believe more from a religious, background of the origin of man, the fact of the matter is that whether you believe, like you said, the evolution theory where we all descend from different, a multitude of different species, or if like me, you believe that a one omniscient, all powerful God created us and used different traits of other creatures he created to it still equals the same thing. It's that we do still have a lot of biological traits from what what came before us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's like and that doesn't mean and that also applies to gender reassignment. You may, even if you fully become a girl, sort of 1-to-1, you're still going to have the biological remnants of being a male.
Mm-hmm. So, what are you guys going to be doing for this Christmas?
Going to the Christmas light show in Ashland and going bowling.
Oh, right, late Christmas light show. Lovely.
Christmas Eve and Christmas will be the first 2 days off I have had in 3 months.
Wow.
And and I have family all over the place that require my attendance. So that's what we're gonna be doing.
Yeah, I have family coming over. I think either today or tomorrow.
And this is an awesome.
Hopefully the weather won't be too bad for flying in and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And this is also not a jab at someone wanting want to identify as a guy or girl fully either. But
Alistair, I don't want to. Can you like drop that subject?
okay, sorry about that.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to just talk about Christmas stuff.
More positive stuff.
Yes.
Okay. But yeah. Anyway, just to move away from what we were talking about earlier, since that's already done and over with.
Yeah, that's done and over with. Yeah.
And I basically already made my point.
Yes.
Well, I'm still looking forward to what 2023 has to offer. At least the stuff I'm looking forward to.
What stuff are you looking forward to?
Some of the new movies like Cocaine Bear, John Wick Chapter 4.
Cocaine Bear, I heard of that.
Yeah.
Apparently it's a true story.
Yeah. Apparently a bear found a stash after a bunch of gangsters threw it out of the plane, and the bear ate some of it and went cuckoo.
Went insane, I should say.
Yeah, basically he's fried its brains with all the meth and cocaine it's been eating.
And yet we humans eat these inhale the stuff.
Yeah. And it even goes to show that even animals can get, drug addicted. I mean, of course, then again, there's catnip, which is kind of like cat's equivalent to weed.
Right.
Yeah. And there's Transformers Rise of the Beasts coming out. Since I
haven't seen the trailer yet. I have to watch the trailer.
Yeah. And I'm also looking forward to it because I've been so heavy on Beast Wars lately. And I might check out Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 just to see what that's like. And
wait, there's a third?
I still remember. Yeah.
Yeah, there will be.
Okay.
And I also seen Broden even joke about the otter that Rocket Raccoon is going to date being Hana from Kotsumet's channel. Oh, and in case you don't know who they are, they're basically an otter channel which they showcase their pet Asian small claw otters named Kotaro and Hana doing funny and silly stuff in their everyday lives. And I'm also subscribed to another otter channel that's like that, called Mako, which is about a guy showcasing his pet otter named Sakura-chan doing silly stuff in her daily life, along with a channel focusing on his cat named Woochie. And there's a few other ones, but I haven't checked them out fully. And there's some other ones too, where there's one guy that mostly makes videos on his pet raccoons, and there's even a dog channel I follow called Oliver the Beagle. And there's a few pug channels I follow. There's one notable one I follow called Doug the Pug. Well, not as much, but I still follow it.
Aww.
And there's a rabbit channel I follow too. And then I remember checking out another channel that showcases the guy's dude's pet duck doing silly stuff too. And before, there's also a guy who makes videos on his pet tigers as well.
Pet tigers?
Pet tigers, yeah. He mostly keeps them in a enlarged encasing, well, a cage. Yeah, not like a small cage, but more like one that you kind of like a fence that you keep your dogs in,
Yeah, those white animals should not be kept as pets.
But yeah, but then again, he's from a different at least I think he's from a different country because, well, I remember he was when he made a video about showing when he caught a rat and he showed his tigers, Diego and Enzo, the rat. Well, at least not on a time where it's feeding time where they're gonna see it as lunch. Well, they were interested a little bit, but they didn't mind. But the rat did got scared.
Mm.
And so then he tried to, take it somewhere where we can release it. And he was trying to think of a word he was thinking of. He was saying, while he's saying, what's that American word I'm thinking of? And among other things. And and there's also I don't know what else, but yeah. Can't really think of anything right now. But there's also a guy who runs a channel named Monkey Boo, and he has makes videos about his pet capuchin monkey going around doing silly stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few animal channels that I watch that basically go around and educate them, show off info about various animals in their own unique ways. One named Suki and another named Casual Geographic, where he explains a lot of animal info in the most getaway possible. And I think my dad's back. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Oh, I've been here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, man, that's a lot of animal channels, man. I ain't judging, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I subscribe to a lot of channels, especially when they put my inputs.
I don't know how many channels I'm subscribed to right now on this channel. It's too much.
Yeah, I'm scared to look.
And I'm also subscribed to this channel called Big Cat Rescue, which is basically a center
Big Cat
that
Rescue. Have you watched the documentary Tiger King?
Tiger King? I heard of it, but not seen
That
it.
dude's from Oklahoma, and I'm telling you, we got two millionaires that are both in prison. One's named Joe Safari, Joe Exotic. The other one's named Safari Joe, and both of them are in prison for the same damn thing right now.
Who's the first one? Say that again. Joe Safari.
Joe Exotic is the dude From Tiger King, but Safari Joe is another is another millionaire. Yeah, he's another millionaire from Oklahoma and he basically got thrown in prison for the same thing, trying to permanently silence his detractors.
Talk about extreme way to silence critics or silence your critics. But yeah, they're a channel that basically rescues cats, both wild cats, both big and small, from abusive homes or in homes that they weren't properly taken care of, and try to rehabilitate them to become happy and healthy again.
Right.
And there's also the Cincinnati Zoo as well. They have their own YouTube channel too. And I haven't seen much from them, but I remember some videos where they had some of their animals eating pumpkins. One where giant tortoises were eating one, and some Asian elephants eating pumpkins too. I even see one guy in that Asian elephant video mentioned that mammoths probably used to eat pumpkin seeds to pumpkins and disperse their seeds throughout America. and basically jokingly saying that that job is basically running
Gross.
for the family. Yeah, that's nature for you.
I'm just being immature. Don't mind me.
It's fine.
Moira, are you still there? Where did he go? Are you being quiet?
Well, meow.
Meow. You're hardly much saying anything.
I'm just listening to y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, biscuits.
Getting tired.
A little bit. I'm getting to be an old cat. Well, and I don't take cat naps. Let me go check on the children real quick. Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna be staying here for 1 more hour, and then I have to go. I have early start of the morning for me.
Yeah, I got another 12-hour shift tomorrow from 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. But like I said, I'll be gone before the big weather starts to hit Thursday morning. So I'm happy about that. Now, coming in on Friday is going to be a pain in the backside.
Yeah, I'm staying inside.
Well, unfortunately, my job won't let me do that.
So, Myra, how was taking care of your little kittens?
He's not there right now.
Again?
Yeah, she just said she had to check on the kids again.
Oh. Acting up again? Oh, geez.
She didn't say that this time. I think she just said that she's checking on them.
Oh, okay.
There's a such thing as getting too quiet.
Yeah. You're getting too quiet. What are they up to?
It's quiet. Too quiet. Yeah. So by January, I definitely don't really have much to do, at least on there, since it probably might be snowing throughout most of the day, but there might be some stuff that me and my dad can do, at least outside.
Yeah, I wish I could do that, but unfortunately, I have to travel next month.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, heck, and by the time next year hits, I just can't wait for, spring and summer to come back too.
Well, winter does have its merits. If it doesn't freeze well enough during the winter, we have an overinfestation of a lot of insects and other vermin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope the same thing for me too, since me and my dad have always get a mouse problem.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been there, done that.
Yeah, and I just hope the bed bugs and cockroaches won't be, as active. Well, I mean, we haven't suffered from cockroaches anymore, but bed bugs, yeah.
Did you get your place fumigated, dude?
We have before, but it's just
Good.
some stuff. It's just some stuff from some places, or even the furniture we got already had them before we even got them.
Was this a used furniture?
I think so. I mean, currently right now we're using a old couple's furniture. But I don't see much bed bugs.
Bear in mind, a bed bug can lie dormant in the crack of a wooden chair for literally 6 months.
Yeah, if you're getting any kind of furniture used, like, otherwise, yeah, make sure.
Spray it down with straight. It has to be 70% or higher isopropyl alcohol.
If you're like getting like an old piece of furniture or something used, make sure it's like, clean.
Hmm. 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 Well, and since there won't be, at least in case if the snow does get bad by the time of next month, well, at least I got some ideas of what me and my dad can watch. I mean, for one thing, I'm thinking of continuing watching Tokyo Vice in case there's something else to do. And maybe even check out Andor as well, since I remember seeing Broden talk about it a few times, mentioning it was good.
Yeah. See, people keep telling me that, oh yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. I'm done. After Book of Boba Fett, I don't care anymore.
Fair enough.
I can't bring myself to it anymore. And then I did. I tried to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. Got through it. It was okay. But then that travesty of a She-Hulk series just ruined it for me.
Oh,
That ruined everything for everyone. I'm not even happy to be a woman anymore.
so do you know
Holy crap.
I mean, to be frank, oh, sorry.
Oh, the new Avengers lineup. New Avengers.
You mean you mean Avengers Diversity Squad?
Yeah, I know there's Captain Marvel. I know there's Hulk. I know there's Ant-Man. I know there's the.
Okay, but see, that's the problem. The only just hear me out, and I'm not saying that this is necessarily a bad thing. What I'm saying is that it's how they did it, when they did it, and why they did it. That's a bad thing. When you go down through the list, and I'm not talking about any of the other teams, like for instance, U.S. Agent, Red Guardian, and Winter Soldier are all about to be on the Thunderbolts team. As far as straight up Avengers go, they have swapped everybody out so much to the point that the only straight white male superhero is Ant-Man. And if that wasn't enough, they are about to character assassinate him in his own movie. Apparently the fame of helping save the world has gone to his head, and it gets to the point that he's ignoring calls from his daughter. Now, I don't know if y'all know anything about the character from the comics, and hell, even the character that they've set up so far in the movies. That man has literally, in the comics, has literally changed the fabric of reality to save his child. He is not going to, under any circumstance, no matter how bullheaded he gets, going to ignore or even miss a call from his daughter. And like I said, they can't let him be a good hero. They can't let him just be like they got to screw him up in the one thing. I mean, he's made plenty of mistakes. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. He's got his flaws. They don't have to make it worse for him, and yet here they are making it worse for him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
at least he's a good father, though. So there's that. I mean, in the
apparently, yeah, I was going to say. Well, I mean, his daughter's an adult now, and I get that, but the dude missed 5 years of her life. He is not about. I mean, she'd be lucky he's not like popping up on a college campus slapping boys with his ant fists. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. See, the new lineup for the new Avengers. Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi, however you want to pronounce it.
I just pronounce it Shang-Chi.
Doctor Strange, Captain America, Sam Wilson, War Machine. No, that's not the right one. No, well, I get half of it right. Captain America, Ant-Man, She-Hulk, and then the Sheree as the new Black Panther.
Yeah, they've got Shuri as the Black Panther right now, which did happen in the comic books, but they still should have recast T'Challa. Chadwick Boseman begged them to recast T'Challa. It was too soon. Now, on the one hand, hear me out. I get it. There's only been one straight up Black Panther movie, but after Civil War, Black Panther, Infinity War and Endgame, I get it. He's had 4 movies technically, 4 movies where he showed up, but only one that he actually starred in, and they needed to recast T'Challa.
Yeah, it was really sad to hear.
I guess you can say that the movie series should have ended with Endgame before it was too late.
Well, I don't even mind Far From Home and No Way Home being seen as an epilogue of sorts, but now they're trying to build up for the Secret Wars, and I'm gonna be honest with you, they're going to screw it up. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. There is absolutely no world where Kevin Feige's in charge that they are not about to screw this completely over, up, and backwards.
And I guess you can say, and if James Gunn were to help produce all the other movies outside of Endgame, I guess you can say Phase 4 could have fared better with his direction.
But see, here's the problem. Everybody's talking about how great James Gunn is. He did good with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and over on DC's side, yeah, sure, the second Suicide Squad movie, he did okay with that. But the problem is him and Taika Waititi, the guy directing Thor, the two of them are real close. And my problem is that their tone is too silly. It works for 1 or 2 movies once in a while, or a specific franchise like the Guardians of the Galaxy. If they are going to try to make an entire universe with that tone, and you hear it all the time, well, at least they don't take themselves too seriously. No, for the love of God. Batman and Wonder Woman need to take themselves that seriously. Superman, everybody else needs to take him that seriously. I ain't saying Zack Snyder seriously, but there has to be a level of seriousness. And
it can't be comical all the time.
And that's the problem. Like that's my biggest problem with Thor Ragnarok. I haven't even seen Love and Thunder. My biggest problem.
Yeah, I was told don't.
But the reason, but that's the thing. Like take Ragnarok for instance. I am not able to take that movie seriously. We see Thor lose absolutely everything and then go straight into a laugh right afterwards. And it's just there's not I don't see, there has to be a little bit more somber up in there. Again, I get why people didn't like Dark World. I understand that movie was too dark. I'm not just talking about the theme. The movie itself was too dark, like aesthetically. But the problem is that tone would have been much better for for the third movie, and the tone from the third movie would have been much better for that movie. And I don't care what anybody says. That first Thor movie was good, but
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. A lot of people, of course, it's become fashionable to bitch about things that we liked 10 years ago.
And this isn't me trying to, suggest a lot of directors that can either that either would cause more problems or even do better. But considering this other director, I end up always thinking of secondly. Well, before I always think of first bit, but now secondly, especially past Gunn. How do you imagine Guillermo del Toro doing MCU Phase 4? Since I know he does pretty well with the stuff he makes. I mean, heck, the one comic book based movie that he's made is Hellboy. You know?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that sequel.
Thing is,
Yeah.
he did good, and that's the thing. I wouldn't want him to run the whole MCU. I could see him doing a movie. He does better with dark stuff. You know, I could see him doing Hellstrom, which they already did an Amazon series, which at the time was set in the MCU. You know, Damien Hellstrom, the son of Satan. You know, I've already seen them. I mean, they've done Werewolf by Night, which Guillermo would have been perfect with. You know, but that movie was really, really good, though. You know that, but I keep saying this over and over again. The things they do right make the things they do wrong so much worse. That Werewolf by Night proves that they could give us what we want. They have the means to do it. They just don't want to. They want us as real fans to suffer because we are not good enough. We're a bunch of istophobe bigots, and that's, as long as they continue to hate us, those of us who pay their salaries, that we're going to continue to get what the MCU is giving us.
See. And I figure at least, and there's also other examples I thought of that Guillermo can do, since he's a big fan of some of the stuff he likes based on the movies he make. Like Pacific Rim, he's a really big fan of kaiju and the mechs from manga and anime, like Mazinger and Gundam. There was other times where I can imagine him doing some specific movies, like, well, this is based on what I was hearing Rodan and a few other people talked about a year ago, where I can imagine him doing a Doom movie. And he mentioned, well, that's my first spot, but then again, he was thinking of something else. But then again, he mostly does a good job at what he does. And this isn't me, trying to still have the mindset of every live action anime adaptation should be on the same standard as Alita Battle Angel or anything. But I even just imagine some manga and anime he can adapt into a movie or series too. Though live action or not, it just depends. Because I know there's some series out there that can fit, that does fit a bit of the dark tone that he does in his movies. At least to me.
Yeah.
You back,
Like
Kitty?
Meow.
Meow.
Welcome back, Mon.
Yeah, I had to sort out a few things in the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, for example, some of the examples I thought of was Rosario Vampire and Death Note, because, well, while Rosario does, at least the manga, while it has its some silly moments, and there are also moments where it also focuses more on the more serious stuff. And Death Note, well, I don't want to go over too much because that's too obvious.
Well, I don't know, man. I think the fad is about to die, and the superhero movie is about to go the way of the pirate movie and the Western and so on and so forth. We'll get them back, but in another cycle. But I think things are about to slow down dramatically.
Oh, speaking of Westerns, there actually is a Nicolas Cage Western coming out.
Oh, really?
Huh. Nice.
Yeah, it actually doesn't completely look like shit, to be honest. It's called The Old Way.
The old way.
Yep.
Interesting.
That
It's about a guy who
sounds.
used to be a really mean gunslinger, and he falls in love with this lady, and they have a kid. He becomes a good family man and all that, and somebody makes a stupid mistake of killing his wife.
Oh.
Oh yeah. And so the little girl's like 10, and so she's like, teach me how to shoot. So she ends up going along with him and help find the bastard.
Nice.
She helps him hold the bastard at gunpoint and everything. Savage.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one.
It looks, Sorry, I'm eating olives. Yeah, it looks very promising. I don't normally say that about a Nicolas Cage movie or a Western. But I'd watch it. But yeah, if y'all get a chance, like, open up another tab and go look for the Old Way trailer.
All right, I hate to do this to y'all, but I got some stuff I gotta handle.
All right, thanks for coming, Geek Hero Baba.
Yep, thanks for having me on. I'll catch y'all later. Y'all have a good night, and if I don't see you before then, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Alrighty, it was good talking to you too.
He's a good cat.
Mm-hmm.
He probably has.
Yeah.
I think he works overnight, so it was some of you with his work. He probably had to rush away.
Well, he works for 12 hours, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, especially based off what he said. Well, so far, at least it's a good thing. I've been mostly trying to, stick with either both double A and indie stuff, because at least they don't suffer the same issues as triple A stuff for the most part.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, heck, even Transformers is one of them. I mean, heck, recall the many times that I've been talking about it on the past streams for the past few months. And that goes to show how much I enjoy the series. Especially without too much, a fuss. I mean, there are some moments that happen, but not as too often as the bigger stuff. I mean, granted, Transformers used to be a big household name before, but it isn't anymore. And that's mainly due to Hasbro technically complicating the in-universe lore, especially, it was good talking to you too, Geek Hero.
I think he probably heard you just as soon as he hit the button and realized that he didn't get a chance to return what you had said.
Too quick with that button. Oops.
Yeah, I've been there. But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, mostly due to, it complicating the in-universe lore, basically overcorrecting something that didn't need to be overcorrected. I mean, before, at least the cartoon, it just explained that the Cybertronians were created by another alien race. But and then lore stuff after it, and based on some stuff from, the Marvel comic, mainly Primus, they basically went with the whole created by a deity, story, kind of like how a lot of human religions do, where this creator basically created the world that the Cybertronians live in, and they created an Adam and Eve apostle figures. That'll be their template for each specific Transformer to explain why certain Transformers exist, like why do female Transformers exist, and why do Transformers that transform into animals exist, and why do combiners exist, or why do triple changers exist, and why do recons exist?
Have a good night, Geek Hero Baba.
Purrs and hugs. Purr.
Yeah, and then with the overcomplicate things, they try to explain how Transformers reproduce, or do Transformers really identify as male or female, and all that stuff.
Right.
Which honestly, it doesn't need to be complicated. Just keep things simple and make it easier to understand for it to be more enjoyable. I mean, heck, even some YouTubers follow some of the idea that the overcomplicated stuff. And I was seeing someone I met on Broden's channel, when he was covering Emperor Kumquat's video about, you know, a character from Earthspark getting backlash. Well, he mentioned in the video that he doesn't like him because he isn't a big too much of a fan of him because, well, he kind of doesn't understand Transformers lore and says stuff like the Decepticons were never evil, and also in his words that Transformers shouldn't have gender, which doesn't make sense because male and female Transformers exist, and it's a canonical fact. And the only reason they went with, you know, with the idea they went with, because, well, back then they were taking influence a lot of other religions where male came first and then female came from, you know, later, especially with taking a piece out of all guys and created women as a result of it, you know? Mm-hmm. Well, unless you're counting Lilith from Abrahamic religion, but still.
Right.
And basically, you know, he even mentioned that for the original idea for G1 Season 2, they were going to follow the Primus and Unicron story, and even add in the Megatronus story too, where after Galvatron gets rebuilt into Megatron, we get to see a flashback about his early days as a gladiator, and Megatronus was his teacher. And by the time when they started to become a full-fledged army, Megatron, basically what he explained the idea, basically backstabbed him and killed him and became the new leader of the Decepticons. Basically like a reverse Orion Pax and Alpha Trion. Story. Mm-hmm. And then like I mentioned about the whole overcomplicating the whole gender aspect of Transformers. I mean, Simon Furman kind of, you know, made some controversial stuff when trying to deal with it. And it just led some people go, look, dude, just say male and female Transformers have existed since forever. And just even go with some of the ideas some stuff did, like the original season 4 plot was going to be I'm going to explain why male and female Transformers why Transformers are male and female, mostly due to the fact that Primus created them to be you know, tools to spread knowledge throughout the universe, and basically have them look very humanoid humanoid-esque to have other species relate to them more easier if they look like themselves. Kind of ironic because they're kind of mostly based on our species template. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You know. Mm-hmm. And there's also, but then when Primus tasked the Quintessons to do it, they basically just go against his back and just use them as slaves and use them for just only for bad profit. And basically how Simon basically made it complicate, you know, gender in Transformers is when in one of the UK Marvel comics, Optimus had to deal with a bunch of feminists whining and moaning about Cybertronians all being male, and then when they decided to build RC in it and show it to him, and those said feminists were like, "What the hell? This is pink. I'm offended," among other things. And then the same thing happened in the IDW comics, where he made a origin spotlight story for RC and basically explained that she was, you know, originally male, but Shockwave basically, you know, forced gender reassignment surgery just to, you know, see what a female Cybertronian would look like. But after that, it's just ever since it's been retconned afterwards, and never mentioned again. Hang on a second, guys. Yeah, sorry. What kind of hamburger helper I want?
What?
Nice. There's 3 cheese.
Yeah, Dempsey.
Hey, Dempsey.
Her.
Yes, please hit that like button and share the stream out.
Cindy Dempsey hugs.
But yeah, anyway, sorry about that. Dad was asking me what kind of hamburger helper I want to eat.
Heck yeah.
And
oh, sorry. Sounds good.
it's fine. I choose 3 cheese.
Oh,
I chose
yeah.
3 cheese.
Good
Mhm.
choice.
Anyway, and so far I remember the only other instance of transfers covering gender and not gender stuff. Well, too a little bit is apparently when I was reading the TF wiki, it mentioned about one minicon from that Soundwave has, that's basically not female. I mean, like a blue recolor Ravage, but identifies as female. I just thought it was silly, and then the second time, and this is related to the video the guy was doing on Emperor Kumquat's video on a character from Earthspark, where it established that one of the new Transformers characters, the Terrans, identifies as non-binary, and they only mentioned it 3 times, and that was it. But it was enough to rattle some people's bones. Though personally, I just don't really care because, well, like I said, I don't view anyone who how they view themselves as long as it's not as overly ridiculous as whatever they want, as long as they don't be a bunch of butts about it, or act like they're a endangered species, or like they're the second coming of Jesus Christ. And not to mention even the Transformers fandom is more chill. I mean, there's some divide and there is some animosity towards G1 fans, but for the most part, it doesn't overly result in major hostility as well. And of course, I've been into Godzilla a lot more as well. Well, I haven't focused too much on it, but then again, as you already know, I already mentioned it before on the other streams that we were on.
So this is what I have done so far.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the brown right now, right here. And once I'm done with the brown, I'm gonna start right here and just work my gray across. Ooh, I hit the mic. But yeah, that's how far I am in right now.
Sweet.
Yes. Once I'm done with this corner, I'm gonna go over here and work my way across. And yeah, I have more stuff on the bottom to do. So it's gonna take me a while. But I'm not in a rush. I'm enjoying myself with it. And plus it will look really nice when it's done. Alright, I have to get going. I have an early start of my morning tomorrow. So
Alrighty.
I'll have to end this. But before we go, please check out my gaming channel. I do play games on there. And also check out my gaming Twitter profile for updates.
I'm personally on strike until that other video game comes back.
Okay. Yeah, check out my gaming channel. Also check out my Twitter gaming page profile. where I put updates when I'm live streaming on my gaming channel, since YouTube is not good with notifications and stuff like that. But yeah, I know I'm playing a lot of ESO. I promise to get back on Agatha Christie and finish that. Yeah, there's other, like, I know, and there's other games I want to play that I haven't played yet. You know, one of them I have to finish is Agatha Christie, and then I think sometime soon, me and Potato will play Gotham Knights soon enough. So keep an eye out for that.
Also, and before we fully finish, since you mentioned it too, you mind if I recommend a game to play too? If that's all right?
Sure, go ahead.
Well, you ever heard of Persona 5 before? Well, I already mentioned it before, but
yeah, that's the anime, I think. Am I right about that?
Yeah, it has an anime, but it's mostly a JRPG video game. And since it re-released on Xbox One and PS5 and Switch and PC fully, I figured you can. I figured, and since the royal version, mostly, I figure at least it'll be something interesting for you to play, especially if you're especially since you're also a big manga and anime fan too. And it also offers a lot of stuff in it too. So I figure at least, recommend it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, though it used to be mostly on PS4 for a while, but since you got a PS4, I guess I figured at least mention it since you got one, and it's on there too. And Persona 4 Golden and Persona 3 Portable are also being ported on Xbox and Switch and PC too. And well, Portable was on the PS Portable and Persona 4 Golden was on the Vita, but it's on PC now. Well, not now, but it was on PC before, but it's becoming more accessible. So I also recommend those titles too. Anyway, we can go ahead and finish off what you're gonna say.
Oh, that reminds me, tomorrow, hopefully maybe tomorrow, I'll be doing my Wednesday episode review of 5 and 6, 9:30 p.m. Central Time. I'll let you guys know that it's definitely happening tomorrow or not.
And when you do, that will help remind me that I need to brush up on that.
Yeah, 5 and 6. Also, please check out my gaming channel. I do play games there, and also check my Twitter profile for my gaming channel for updates when I'm playing a game. And please click on that like button, share the stream out. If you like what you see here, please click on that subscribe button and click on that notification bell for future content on this channel. And with that, we'll catch you guys later. Have a good night, everybody. See you later.
Yum.
If this is your first time being here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RaquelSSG2211. Catch you later.